Hello, football fans, fellow world champions, Chelsea fans. My major concern right now for Chelsea is the fact that this is the fourth season that we'll be starting a new season without a front shirt sponsor. It all started in 2023-24 season when we started the season without a front shirt sponsor. 2024-25 season, 2025-26 season that ended a few months ago, and now we are about to start a new season, 2026-27 season, no front shirt sponsor. And then this has a whole lot to say about our reputation as a club, as a football club. Chelsea now has gradually fallen off from the level where we were, and we always started a new season, every successive new season with a permanent front shirt sponsor to a point now, a level down to a level now where we'll start a new season. We'll just be racking our brains, imagining, hoping, wishing that we also will have a front shirt sponsor. Other Premier League teams like the Arsenal, Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, Tottenham, and virtually all the teams in the Premier League have got permanent front shirt sponsors, but we don't have one. This has become a trend now, and it's becoming very worrying for me, and I believe for other Chelsea fans also out there. We are really falling off. I know the Blue Co are eventually turning up and trying to correct some of the errors they've made in the past 3 to 4 seasons, but I think there's still a whole lot more work to be done. When I started supporting Chelsea back in 2006, Chelsea's front shirt sponsor was Samsung Mobile, and we maintained that brand for about 3 to 4 seasons, Samsung Mobile, and then from there it was Samsung. After then, Yokohama Tires, and then the telecommunication mobile, brand 3. I think that was the last permanent front shirt sponsor that we had. And after the era of Roman Abramovich ended and this new Blue Co owners came on board. Since these guys came on board, we've not had a permanent front shirt sponsor, and it's just not looking good. It actually makes us look so ordinary, so substandard, so so much like a club of a lower standard, a club that's got a very low reputation and standard, that is not respected, that is not highly rated. It's not looking good, and I made a little research as to why this has been a trend, or this has been the pattern for the club, and I found this brief information which says Chelsea doesn't have a permanent front of shirt sponsor because, okay, I asked, why don't Chelsea have a front shirt sponsor? And it says Chelsea doesn't have a permanent front of shirt sponsor because the club's hierarchy has rejected lower value offers, choosing instead to hold out a high tier long-term deal worth between £60 million to £65 million per season that matches top rival clubs. Financial strategy and valuation. High asking price. The club wants a lucrative agreement valuing them near the top of the Premier League, rather than locking into a cheaper multi-year contract. Second point says impact of past form. Fluctuating qualification for the Champions League in recent seasons reduced what interested corporate partners were initially willing to pay. Yeah, the first reason says the club hierarchy are expecting something higher than what they are currently getting. That's one of the reasons. The second one says that the fluctuating performances that the club has had over the last few seasons has greatly contributed to why this, brand sponsors, these corporate brand sponsors are not interested and not willing to pay the amounts that the club are have been requesting or are demanding, and it's not going to happen. Like they said, we have not been doing well. We've not been consistent in the UEFA Champions League tournament over the last 4 or 5 seasons, and no serious corporate brand is gonna take a club like that seriously. And they said they're looking for a club that's gonna pay, near the top of the Premier League. And they said they're looking for a front of shirt sponsor that's gonna pay. They said they are looking for a front of shirt sponsor that is a high tier long term, that is going to offer a high tier long term deal. You're not gonna get that. And then come to think of this, why I'm just thinking out of the box right now, because they want something that's of a high tier quality and that is gonna be more permanent, that's gonna pay highly. But apparently this type of sponsors are not currently available and not readily available. They are apparently not easy to come by. But then there's something that has been a pattern over the last 3 seasons or 4 seasons. In 2023-24 season, we didn't have a permanent front of shirt sponsor. But then just at the middle of the season, we quickly rounded up a short-term deal with Infinite Athletes from the middle of the season to the end of the season. Then by the start of the 2024-25 season, no permanent front of shirt sponsor. But then by the middle of that same season, we quickly signed a deal with Denmark towards the end of that season, Denmark, and that ended the season halfway. And also beginning of last season, which was 2025-26 season, we didn't have a front of shirt sponsor. And just towards the end of the season again, we quickly went for a deal, a short-term deal again with ifs.ai, that we ended the season with. So instead of doing this short-term middle of season deals when the season is entering the middle point and then towards the end of the season, why not just lower your demands? I'm just thinking, why don't these owners just lower their demands, go for the corporate sponsors that are gonna pay something maybe a little below, the 60 and 65 million portfolio that they are requesting, because the reputation that the club has shown over the last few seasons will not encourage many of the corporate sponsors out there to want to cough out such an amount of money for a club that has not been performing consistently. So I'm just thinking, why not just go for a more permanent deal with a sponsor that are ready to pay something, reasonable. It might not be as high as the 60-65 million pounds, but something maybe within the range of 30-40 million pounds, that you know that, okay, you're not going to start the new season with the front of the shirt, with the front of the jersey empty again. Instead of rejecting the offers available and saying we want something higher, which will never come at the end of the season, but then when the season reaches the middle point, you will now go for a lower tier, short term, not permanent again kind of deal again, which doesn't really make any much sense to me. So why not go for one that's gonna be, a little more permanent than the half season, short term type of deals, and just go for that and just get those deals done, wrapped up before the start of the season, and then hopefully the team begins to improve in their performances. And when that starts happening, I believe this potential sponsor will start seeing the improvements with the performances that the club is churning out, and then we can say, okay, now we want to raise our offer from maybe 40, 30, 40 that they were coming up with before, and say, oh, we could see this club has started performing more consistently. Now we are ready to pay the 60 million pounds that you guys are requesting, and then that will become a more permanent deal. I'm just thinking outside the box. I'm just wondering, because it's looking funny. It's not even looking good, you know, for a club of Chelsea's caliber, of Chelsea's repute, of Chelsea's standard, to not have a permanent front of shirt sponsor for the 4th season running. It's crazy. It's very laughable. Rival fans are laughing at us. People are wondering what's wrong with these guys. I know we are getting there. We are experiencing little changes here and there, but we just have got to move fast and get to where we used to be. During the time of the Abramovich era, we can't afford to continue to give excuses to these guys and say, we are getting there. We are, things are changing. No, they brought us from this level and brought us down to a lower level, and we can't afford to be quiet and continue to manage. We don't want to manage this level. We want to be where we used to be, compete at the highest level, and give clubs a run for their money, and then challenge for titles and win trophies, win titles, and be at the top that we were once known to be. We want to get there fast. Bluco, got to do something about this. Chelsea fans, I want to know what you guys think about this. God bless you all. I wish you a lovely, beautiful weekend. God bless you. Ciao.